Hello, Coven. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are officially in eclipse season. This eclipse is going to be a doozy. It's involving, obviously, the sun and the moon because it's a solar eclipse. It's a new moon. New moons traditionally represent new beginnings and fresh starts. It's also the Chinese Lunar New Year. And we are entering the year of the horse. So we are definitely, finally, thankfully done with the year of the snake, which is shedding and releasing things. This solar eclipse, again, will have Venus involved, so our relationships, and Mercury involved. And this is on the axis that involves Rahu, which is the great deceiver, the great manipulator, the liar. And just be mindful of people maybe not being so forthcoming with their words, with their actions, especially in matters of speech. Mercury, the lord of speech involved. Venus, oh my God. The Seven of Swords. Okay, so I decided also to use this like reflective tarot deck because I thought it would be like spooky for the eclipse. But swords in general represents speech, our thoughts, the element of air, and the Seven of Swords is like the cut your losses and fucking get out of there and leaving a situation, taking only what you need and leaving everything else behind. So this is releasing old habits, objects in your life, relationships, attachments to people, places, maybe jobs, expectations. This is creating boundaries, protecting yourself physically, mentally, and looking out for deception, which is fucking insane because I literally just said Rahu is the great deceiver. So looking out for deception, being on the lookout for people who may not be honest. The Seven of Swords is represented as like the editing card. It's the action of removing what is no longer needed, what no longer serves you, choosing to validate and have your own approval and sense of self-worth be most important rather than trying to prove things to other people. And it's not getting the last word. It's not like proving to the other person that you were right. It's literally just leaving, getting the fuck out of there and not giving a shit about how someone thinks or feels. Especially, listen, new beginnings. Literally new beginnings, cutting our losses, ending things. But if you want to cut your girl, not two cards flipping out, I'm done. Are these more swords? Okay, we have wands. Okay, I was gonna scream. So we have the Ten of Swords that flew out. So the Ten of Swords literally represents the end of a story. This is finally ending and releasing bad thought patterns. These 10 swords are placed specifically along this person's spine. And this is very reminiscent of spinal alignment, doing like acupuncture work along your spine to bring yourself in alignment. The Ten of Swords shows up to let you know that the worst is over, your mental turmoil is finally done, finally vanquished, you can rest and regain some motivation while blocking off negative energies from having access to your fresh and imminent start. Because new moons represent new beginnings and fresh starts. This is moving out from outdated thoughts and patterns and behaviors. This is restructuring aspects in your life that have been in disarray. The Ten of Swords shows up to ask you to prepare for a great change. This is having some wisdom, ascension. This is like literally a turning point in your life. So really using this energy of the Ten of Swords to move on to a new cycle. This is insane. I can't even believe this. And then, which I think is very interesting, is that we have the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands represents having a plan, specifically having a business plan. He's holding a globe and he's standing between two wands. He's holding a globe and a wand. And this is representative of you surveying your options, being aware of the possibilities, being able to read a room correctly and make your decisions, making some assessments from here. This is waiting for the right time to execute your perfect plan. So literally getting out, not telling people your plan, waiting for a period of rest so that you can recuperate, and then waiting for the right time to execute your plan. So if you've been planning on moving, on leaving your job, leaving a relationship, doing some sort of change, this is the perfect time, especially since this coincides again with this solar eclipse, the first one of eclipse season. The Two of Wands, literally I have in my notes, represents hatching your plans, but not rushing into action. Being sure to wait until the right moment. There's no such thing as luck here. This is about preparation and literally making sure that your plan is executed well, because having a good plan is one thing, but if you spring it into action before the timing is right, that all of that effort was literally for nothing. So this is making sure that the timing is right before you spring into action. So if you want to launch a business, if you want to make a move in your career, if you want to start a new relationship, anything new, whatever that fresh start is, have your plans, have your period of rest, go into alignment, end those thought patterns of you maybe telling yourself that you're not ready, you're not good enough. Oop, a card flipped over. Two cards flipped over. Girl, I'm gonna scream. Okay, so first and foremost, the first card that flipped over is the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups represents walking down memory lane. This is nostalgia. This card shows up as walking away from what no longer serves you. So you see kind of here in the card, there's this figure that's walking away in the distance, and this represents like authority figures or people who maybe put you down, leaving your life. So someone who maybe wasn't necessarily a good influence on you, or whatever, someone who was just not a good person leaving, and leaving these children to enjoy their time together. And that represents you being willing to walk away from the qualities, people, haunting memories, anything that no longer serves you. This card is taking place in this courtyard of this medieval town, and this represents a safe and soft space where danger is kept at bay. And this reminds you, like, you finally are in a safe enough space to revisit your past, to recuperate, return to yourself. The Six of Cups really represents like the dawn after the darkness and a period of immense personal growth, being able to reflect on your path, walking down memory lane, and have compassion and empathy for your past self in order to heal. Because it takes a lot of growth to realize that that version of yourself that accepted certain behavioral patterns or allowed certain things to transpire, that doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that like a lot was going on in life and you were doing the best that you could. So really reflect on life and reflect on the past actions and just have empathy for yourself. And this will allow you to get rid of any negative emotions that you've been holding on to. And girl, you need to, because the other card that fell out was the motherfucking Three of Swords. Hello. So just the imagery of this card alone. This card represents betrayal, having a broken heart. This is perhaps like being in a love triangle, intense verbal wounds, like getting into a disagreement with someone, getting some upsetting news. But this card ultimately represents needing this like trauma to happen to your heart in order to let the light in. And the storm clouds that we see here in the background represents the fear that you may have about the situation. It will soon depart. And our darkest moments, they ultimately carve our character. You know, when the sky clears, because storms always clear, we will welcome the personal evolution that transforms us forever, but we have to be willing to let the light in. But this is, oh my God, this is very transformative. So eclipses bring about sudden changes, y'all. And this could be changes in your relationship with people. It could be changes in the dynamics that you have with yourself, with maybe your work. This is a very interesting time. So let's pull some oracle cards to see what other meanings are in store for us this eclipse season. Hold on, remember to hydrate, y'all. So since eclipses bring about sudden changes, and this is a lot of swords energy, just in this first section, we have 3 swords cards, and they're all like very intense. The suit of swords in general is very intense, but especially this 3 of swords, Jesus Christmas. Be prepared for some very intense things that could come up. Like heartbreak is something that we all have to grapple with, but it does encourage personal evolution. Like think about the strength that it takes to pull yourself up out of loss. Think about also the retrospect that you have when the storm cloud clears and you're like, I dated that person? I'm crying over that nigga? Oh, okay. But ultimately, When challenged, try to rely on logic over emotion, because this is a person or a situation that you are bound to separate from. But again, cut your losses. Look at it, you know, take the happy memories, go walk down memory lane and use that as growth during this difficult time. Invite your monster to tea. So as always, I will read from the booklet and then we shall get into it. And we have 3, the number 3, and then we also have 3 here as well. It's take your monster to work day. That's right, you're being invited by life right now to buy flowers for your demon. Whatever monster haunts your mind with fear, debilitation, or shame, it will never cease its power over you if it remains caged in the shadows. So take it out to tea. Ask it why it threatens or taunts you. What pain does it want you to acknowledge? A famous poet once wrote, "Perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses who are only waiting to see us act just once with beauty and courage. Perhaps everything that frightens us is in its deepest essence something helpless that wants our love." So, what monster or what thing do you need to face? Is it perhaps the fear of being alone? You know, this 3 of Swords card implies ultimately like breaking up, which is so crazy because the spreads that we got last week were all super like lovey-dovey, like 2 of Cups, and you know, Valentine's Day was last weekend. But when eclipse season shows up, new moons, Lunar New Year, it is representative of change. So really think about what things are going on in your life, what fears, what's holding you back. The only thing holding you back is yourself. What did Bad Bunny say during his Super Bowl performance? Believe in yourself, because he believed in himself. He went from bagging groceries as a store clerk to winning album of the fucking year and headlining the Super Bowl with an incredible performance. The only thing holding you back is you and the own limitations that you put on your own mind. Alchemize pain. Okay, this is turning into a lot now. Pain happens. It sinks beneath the surface of life into the watery abyss of agony. We have no control over when it arrives or how long it stays, but we can influence how much suffering it leaves in its wake. When we hold on to the injustice of pain, it can turn into suffering. Release the pain through the healing power of creativity. Sing your sorrow. Dance your turmoil. Alchemize your hurt into art. When we offer the pain a sense of release, we bless it with beauty. This is a sacred alchemy that comes only after grief. You must grieve your pain first, giving your heart the space it needs to bleed out all the messages that would diminish or limit you. Ignore the voices that suggest you should be over it by now, or tell you all grief looks the same, or say you deserve this pain. Only by embracing pain and then expressing it can you rise again to the surface. Hello, I'm gonna place this card next to the 3 of Swords, because the 3 of Swords is a card that represents going through a difficult time, experiencing perhaps like a breakup of sorts. Alchemize your pain. Literally compost it. Pull an Adele. I'm not into her music, but pull a Taylor Swift. Turn it into art. Beyonce. If Jay-Z never cheated on her, we would have never got Lemonade. I hate to say it, but hello? If Beyonce was never rejected by the racist ass country music awards where she performed daddy lessons with the Dixie Chicks, we would have never gotten Cowboy Carter. Mind that monkey. The monkey mind is the part of your psyche that can turn your enthusiasm and bravery upside down. He's the trickster that chants words of not enoughness into your ears. He says your gifts and talents will never be enough. Your ideas and plans are a waste of time. You won't amount to anything. If you dare to act on your bravest dreams, he is the one accusing you of being a fraud, an imposter. Like an intimidating parent or a disapproving teacher, all he has to do is cast a glance at your creative spark and you shrink, convinced you'll never be enough. So you hide your gifts, or worse, refuse to develop them. suffer his tricks too long and your creativity drowns in doubt. You are being invited right now to question your thoughts and search for monkey mind in their midst. Are you listening to thoughts that match your true sparkling nature, or ones that pull your sparkle down into the depths of lostness? Only you can choose whom to listen to. What thoughts are you thinking of? And it's interesting that this is going to be placed next to the Six of Cups, which represents taking a walk down memory lane, looking back at your life, your actions, the things that you've been through, and not looking at it from a place of judgment, but looking at it from a place of compassion and understanding to realize why you did what you did, why you took the steps that you did, why you took the actions, or why you were even in those circumstances to begin with. So notice where your thoughts go, especially when Alchemizing Pain talks about turning your pain into art and creativity. Notice if then maybe you start doubting yourself of, oh, well, I don't know because so-and-so was already doing it. Who gives a shit what other people were doing? Live your fucking life. Like, okay, perfect example. I remember over the pandemic, I was unfortunately dating someone, and this person was a photographer. I say that with the biggest air quotes because where was the work anyway? I remember I was like, you should go out, and while New York is like completely empty, you should take pictures of everything that's happening, because when will we ever in the history of the world have a moment when Times Square is empty? Streets are empty. And he was like, I don't want to do that because everybody's doing that. Like, I see so many people in my timeline doing that. And I'm like, okay, so because other people were doing it, you don't want to do it? No one has your eye, no one has your vision, no one has your creativity. And guess what? No, not everyone was doing that. A handful of people were doing it. And now you're not one of them because you want to sit there and say, oh, well, other people were doing it, so I can't. So what? Every person who makes an album is just going to be discouraged from making an album? Well, there's already an R&B album out there. I can't do it. Do you hear how dumb that sounds? Shut up and go make your art. Like, enough. Winter Woodlands. 44, angel number, let's go. Take time to honor what you feel. Self-compassion is the healing balm you desire. Yes. Keywords: self-compassion. Healing takes time. Honor what you feel. That's insane. That's insane. Heart feeling can feel a lot like being in winter woodlands. In this landscape, it can seem like time is standing still, and the pain you are facing will be with you forever. Healing is never simple, and oftentimes you may not even know you're in a healing phase until you made your way out. You may be ready to give up and shut yourself off from anything good that is attempting to come into your life, but you will have pulled this card to tell you that healing is happening for you. Do not feel any pressure to heal your heart in any particular way. Sometimes it may feel like you are going in circles, passing the same emotions and feelings time and time again. But you must trust that you are headed in the right direction. Headed in the right direction. If you're a real one, drop the name of the artist in the song. Be gentle with yourself in the coming weeks, allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling without trying to change. You can still love someone even if they've hurt you, or grieve for something even if other people don't understand why. That doesn't mean you're silly. It means you're human. Don't worry, the frost on your heart will thaw and spring will find you again. Hello? Excuse me? Literally next to the Three of Swords and Alchemized Pain. Oh, okay. So my loves, if you are enjoying the spread so far, I do encourage you to head over to patreon.com/The Barista Witch, where at the $5 level, you can join the CAFÉ COVEN and watch the rest of this spread. I will be filling in the rest. We have lots of messages for this eclipse season, and this is already very chatty. And so please head over, subscribe at the $5 level. It means so much. Thank you to those of you who have already subscribed and are helping me to become a full-time witch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you want to learn how to read tarot, join Tier 2, the Arcana Academy, for just a little $11 a month, where we go through every single card in the tarot every week for Tarot Tuesday, a new video drops, and I teach you how to read tarot. We already have some Coven members who have upgraded their memberships. Shout out to you, Rose. Shout out to you, Mimi. Shout out to you, Beckett. Thank you for being part of the Arcana Academy. And yes, I love you. And for my YouTube fam, I will see you over on Patreon. Bye-bye.